Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nganga Media for today's stories and detailed analysis from Kenya and all the four corners of the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, apart from political parties and political coalitions, in Kenya, the church as an institution greatly determines how people vote, especially for presidential votes. I want you to listen to Pastor Nganga, how he was addressing leaders of the ongoing situations, especially was addressing Kimani Ichungwa and other leaders. Before we go into the details of this analysis, to look into how the church has influenced past elections and how it's going to influence the 2027 elections. But of course, remember to take a second to subscribe to our channel so that we can grow together. This is Pastor Nganga addressing Kimani Ichungwa and other leaders.
Nimeona Sudi akisema ati kama ni yeye angeandikwa angeua watoto, siue mama yako, umbwa wewe, takataka, you are killers. You are, sipeleke mtoto kotini, sipeleke mtu kotini. Naona jana anashambulia ati mpaka na mapasa. There is nowhere. Kotini kuna mada, kuna life. Jaji ndiye ataamua hii kesi, sio nyinyi mtaamua mkidnap. Ukiona mnaongea hivi mnajua. Ukiona mnaongea hivi mnajua kule watoto wanaenda. Don't blink nonsense. Na hii mwaka na nyinyi mtaona, mtakufiwa na special zenyu. Mtakufiwa hata nyinyi. Mnachochea, wewe unaenda Rift Valley, wewe ni mtu wa Kiambu, kaa kwa mama yako, stupid. Utaendaje Rift Valley kwenda kuchochea? Natembea kwake. Unaenda kwa natembea kwake. Si wachana watu wa kwake wapigane wenyewe.
Apart from Pastor Nganga, other political other churches like the Catholic Church has greatly come out to condemn a lot of things in this Kenya Kwanza government. We have seen the Catholic bishops addressing the abductions. There is a time even they came out to do a press in the denomination of bishops from all churches. And they were talking a lot of abduction, the economic time promises that have not been fulfilled. Ladies and gentlemen, this analysis, we want to look into how the church has really influenced the voting of the people and why the church is very powerful as an institution and how it's going to influence the 2027 general election. And without further ado, let's get into it. The reason number one is that the church does not have a tribe, the church does not have a region, and the church does not have a party. The church is all over the country. And when the church speaks, it's speaking from everywhere. It will influence people from every part of the country. That's the reason number one. If you remember the thing that the Gen Z was saying, that we are partyless, we are leaderless, we are what, the church is also in that same line. It doesn't have a general leader. People go to church and they listen to the bishop, they listen to the pastors. Nobody can say that the churches of Western or the churches of Rift Valley, the church is the church. From whenever part of the country, if they are talking about hard economic times, they will talk from the entire country. And its citizens are listening. The reason number two, ladies and gentlemen, is that the church has a very huge following in Kenya. Remember that almost 70+ percentage of Kenyans are Christians. And if you follow closely on Saturday and on Sunday, a great number of Kenyans attend the church. That's why people don't go to work on Saturday and Sunday. That's why in Kenya we have laws that protect people from allow people to go and worship. So the church has a very huge following. And when these bishops and these pastors and these citizens are discussing in the economic times, remember that in the church there are programs that they talk about how people can live under economic times. Nowadays people discuss family in the church. Nowadays people discuss how to spend money in the church. Nowadays people discuss a lot of things in the church. And these things are discussed in the church. And slowly by slowly as the discussion is going on, citizens who are in those churches are having a mind about this government. So that's the reason number one. Number two, the church has a huge following. You cannot underestimate the church. And apart from this huge following, the church, members of the church trust their leaders so much. For example, let me take the Catholics. And then their father comes there into church, talks, makes the sermon, and then between the sermon says, let's pray for the abductions that are going in Kenya. And let's pray for this government, for the promises they made they have not fulfilled. Let's pray for them so that they can fulfill. The citizens are listening to the father, and they believe what their leaders are saying. For instance, those people who are listening to Nganga, they are listening to him. And this is greatly continuing to make a thought in the minds of their citizens or the church, the people in the church. And it's going to highly determine how people are going to vote in 2027. The last thing is that the church reaches to the interior parts of the country. Remember that there is a Mama Mboga, there is somebody somewhere who doesn't watch television, who doesn't listen to radio, who doesn't even access magazine. But that person attends a church somewhere. Deep in the interior, there is that person who is not even concerned with the politics of what's happening. He's going to his farm or a farm, and after there he goes to the house. He's not totally concerned. But once this person attends the church and listens to what the discussions that are going there, and finds out that there are abductions ongoing, finds out that the economy is suffering, finds out that people are not being treated in hospital because there is a change of insurance in hospital and it's not working very well, and finds out a lot of things from the church. Then this person, even if he did not listen to TV, television, radio, or even magazine, she or he has already an opinion on what is going on in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the three reasons. But I want to conclude by saying that, remember that in 2022, President Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua went to church several times. It's through the church that they won the election. You could see them on Saturday and Sunday being prayed, taking money to church, unlike what's happening now, especially in the Mount Kenya region. They went to church several times and they were prayed, and a lot of church leaders influenced their winning because they appeared as people who were friendly to the church. And that's why church leaders have come out to say that things are not working as they were promised, because some of these promises were made right on the pulpit. And in 2027, if the Kenya Kwanza administration will not make things right, go back to the church and make and address the congregations truthfully of what is happening, say what they have achieved, and honestly give an opinion of what they haven't achieved, then the 2027 general election is going to be very difficult for them, because the church doesn't lie. Unlike politicians who will come out and say and give lies, you have seen it happening, the church will always stand at the truth. You cannot have a church leader coming out to say things that are not honest, because these are religious leaders. They are highly believed by their congregations, and at the last, when everybody is not talking, it's the church that comes out to speak. We saw it happen the other day when they came out to make a public address. Ladies and gentlemen, so we'll be waiting to see how the 2027 general election will go with the things that are going on. Yesterday we had the abduction that happened, but the Tanzania activist was released. And also we had the Justin Muturi coming out to make an address on the abduction of his son and the abductions that are going on. I'll do that in the next clip. So ensure that you subscribe, like this video, so that you can also be updated in that next clip once it's out. Have a nice day, ladies and gentlemen.